We're in the land of cardamom buns, Copenhagen. But where do they get their spice from? Let's not be surprised. The Danes have taken a lot from South Asian culture. I mean, first the spice and then the Scandiscar. Before we begin, I think it's important for me to make a statement. I want to be the first to admit and point out where I personally benefited from my brothers and sisters in Scandinavia. Example 1. The finely produced mug that I drink my matcha lattes out of, produced in Denmark. Example number 2. The gorgeous dining room table that I have saved to buy for my future home, produced in Sweden. Cardamom buns that I love sinking my teeth into, also Swedish. Or should I say, Swede-ish? See what I did there? Sure. Cardamom isn't from Sweden, but what the Swedes did with it was anything but appropriated. They swirled it into their beloved wheat, and after World War I, when butter and sugar was more readily available, they took all these precious ingredients and they turned it into this iconic Swedish staple. I mean, there's even a national day for the cardamom bun. It's May 15th, if you care to know. They appreciated it, and so did the Danes, but those little green pods lived many lives before they even got close to crossing that Scandinavian border. So how did they get there? 'Tis the question. And there are many, many confusing answers. For the sake of science, let's call them theories. The first theory that we're going to tap into is probably my favorite theory because it involves Vikings. Just like me in the 21st century, our 9th century buddies, the Vikings, loved to do a little Sunday grocery shop. Now, they didn't have Waitrose back then, so they went to Constantinople, which I believe is modern day Istanbul, but don't quote me on that. It genuinely tickles my little heart to think that a Viking went shopping in a bazaar and saw the queen of spices, picked it up and was like, oh yeah, she's aromatic, she's coming home with me to Sweden or Norway. So say this was the case and the Vikings did stumble upon green cardamom pods at a bazaar in Constantinople. How did it even get there? I think for the most part historians believe that cardamom is originally found in Kerala and it grows around the mountainous regions of India. And because these spices were so sought after, they would board onto these ships, these Arabian ships, and they would travel with the winds of the monsoon, and then they would enter into areas like Yemen and Oman to be traded, along the great Indian Ocean voyage. I mean, the other route is a bit more boring, just that it was like hauled over land through Mesopotamia and then just arrived in Constantinople. A few well-renowned culinary archaeologists actually put a pin in that theory, and they said that there's actually no evidence that Vikings used green cardamom pods, which is a bit of a bummer, really, because that just ruined the image that I hopefully painted in all of your heads. There's more evidence pointing to the fact that actually green cardamom would have been passed through London. I know. It was actually part of the Baltic/North Sea side of trade. It's all very, very confusing to me, not a historian. But what is not confusing to me is where we source our cardamom from right now. This might surprise you, and it definitely surprised me. But Guatemala is actually the world's biggest producer of cardamom. I know, what? Who would have guessed it? Guatemala? After Guatemala comes India. Duh, they produce so many spices. I mean, anyone could have guessed that. And then we have the teardrop of India, Sri Lanka. Can you tell that I'm Sri Lankan? I actually don't know how far down on the list Sri Lanka is, and I don't really know how much cardamom Sri Lanka produces per year. That would have been a really key fact that I should have Googled prior to starting this voice note, but I didn't, so we're not going to get any facts here. All we're going to get is the fact that I felt really at home in Copenhagen, biting down on a cardamom bun, feeling like I was at home. The reason I traveled to Copenhagen instead of Sweden to try cardamom buns is probably because of Noma, this Michelin-starred restaurant that I believe inspired this new Nordic baking revolution. It caused, culinary experts in Copenhagen to just level up, and they leveled up. What also makes Danish cardamom buns extra special is that Danish butter. We first had to try it in the form of a BMO, which is a really, really simple breakfast grab-and-go item. It's just a bun with whipped butter and some really good quality cheese. But enough about the BMO. We're here to talk about cardamom buns, and I'm gonna start off with my favorite. It was at this place called Sinagas Bakery. It seemed like a local hidden gem, self-service. Honestly, the best way to describe this was super juicy, and the texture reminded me of Japanese shokupa. I feel like you can't talk about cardamom buns without including Juno the bakery in the conversation. This place overall stunning, phenomenal, no notes, nothing that I would improve, and we stood in a line in the rain to get it, and it was still worth it. As a lover of the TV show The Bear on Disney Plus, I had to go to Heart Bakery because it makes a few cameos on the show. We actually tried them on 2 occasions. Their monkey bread croissant style cardamom bun really beautifully made. Honestly, a scientific genius made that. My favorite item was their classic cardamom swirl. Isn't really a classic by Danish standards. This to me tasted like a gulab jamun version of a cardamom bun, soaked in cinnamon sugary glaze. It was so tender. I also want to say that it had a hint of orange zest, but I could have been wrong. Another standout bakery that I have to mention is Anderson. They also have a lot of Japanese influenced baked goods. Would highly recommend if you ever potter down there. To conclude, I love cardamom, you love cardamom, we all love cardamom, and we all need to know more about cardamom.